Chapter 15, Parent Engagement and Leadership. There was a quote on page 228, and it talked about how social institutions such as the public school systems tend to function based on mainstream ideas of involvement and behaviors. Thereby, recognizing those who act within these societal expectations. So they're basically trying to reproduce middle class ideas of education and parenting. Um, if you have the socioeconomic status, if you have the connections, the personnel, then these are the usually the ideas and the styles of parenting that they want to be emulated. I guess the color that I thought about was green, because green, a lot of times people equate green or kind of represent green with money. And unfortunately, in communities, those are the people who represent the majority of the ideas and what takes place in a school. And instead of it being a money issue, they were saying we might as well, it would be better if we can turn this into a social capital instead of an economic capital where parents and children of all socioeconomic statuses are engaged in a program that benefits the totality of the student body. And so that's why I chose the color green for that particular bit of information. I thought that was really interesting, and I thought it was neat how they flipped it. Instead of talking about the economic status of those who make decisions, let's try to give explicit detailed instructions to the parents who want to be involved and make it a social capital event. I like that information. The other thing that I thought was really neat was in Chicago about one of the early examples for a participatory and leadership program was Project Flame, Family Literacy, Aprendiendo, Mejorando, Educando, or Learning, Bettering, and Educating. They assumed that the program would discuss parents who are confident and successful learners are the most effective teachers of their children. I liked it because it was basically a large ESOL class for parents, in particular mothers in Chicago, and helping them learn English and teaching them how to better assist their children. I thought that was really, really interesting because we want parents to be involved, but if we don't provide them with the tools or at least give them some sort of program that will teach them and give them the tools that they need to teach their child, then we will not have as much success with our students as if we would get our parents involved. I think the symbol that I used for that, seeing how I came from a single parent home, was a family of my mother and my family. That's one of the things that I wanted to show. And so this is a picture of my mom and a couple of my siblings, and another picture of us. And I don't know if you could see it or if you can zoom in, but if you notice, my mom is holding my sister's hand. And I like that because that's what parents want to do. Parents want to assist their children. They want to hold their hand. They want to make sure that their children do better than what they did. I don't know any parent that does not want their child to do better than what they did or how they're doing. So that was my symbol for that particular portion in the chapter about Project Flame. That was really nice how they tried to assist those parents with that, and it had great benefits as well because they taught the parents, those mothers, how to teach their children. And lastly, this was really, really interesting because a lot of times we complain as educators about the help that we don't get, and sometimes because we have so much on our plate, we don't take the initiative. But I feel like if we can just start small, we can do it. And one thing that I liked was the Parent Empowerment for Family Literacy Project, or PFAL, that involved 6 different nations: Malta, Italy, Romania, England, Belgium, and Lithuania. These are all European countries. And they started this program where they actually had parents as co-educators, leaders, and parents leaders, and they taught them how to go out into the communities. Once they got the foundations and the tools that they needed, they went out and helped other people. And then they would share amongst not just the community, they would share amongst other nations. And I thought that was incredible, because sometimes all you need is someone to help you. So you have a torch, because someone lit a torch, and all you need is someone to ignite a fire within you that you didn't even know you had. And what I liked about it is, because of this program, many parents went on to take additional courses to help them. So as far as with my the things, the images that I use my mother, because she reminded me of the Project Flame in Chicago with the Latin mothers. I use green for money, because instead of being about economics or who has the social economic status, we need to be social economic, where we teach despite someone's status or bank account. And the other one was the torch, because I feel as educators, it's our job to light a torch, not just with students, but with parents. And then that's one of the greatest examples of teaching them how to fish instead of giving them a fish, and then they'll eat for a lifetime. And I believe that those people in those 6 nations benefited a lot, and then they're sharing it with other nations. So this was a pretty interesting chapter for me.